Hello and welcome to another episode of Cyrils Brettspiele. My name is Nils and today we are looking at Unfair, Funfair, Fair, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Anyway, it's Good Games Publishing, and in a nutshell we are just taking a look at Unfair. Unfair was recently on Kickstarter, as you maybe mentioned, and was a huge success. However, I had the opportunity to get a pre-production copy, so this is not the final quality, but it's a really good quality. As you can see, it's a really thick board for a pre-production copy. So this is a board game, and that is just technically for organizing and maintaining the gameplay. The game is driven by cards and decks. In this case, the pirate deck has a card which describes some new additional rules. If there are, in my version there are not. So then a little bit of how they balanced. Then each deck has city cards. 3 red city cards. Red are unfair, nasty, bad events, overall global events for the whole round, and blue ones, the nice and friendly ones where you have benefits. They are funfairs, and that is unfair. In addition, each single deck has a main gate, which is technically the base card for each single player, a loan marker, so you can take loans at any time. On the start of the beginning you have it flipped around to indicate you have no loans. And 2 showcase cards like this. This is a big thing you want to have in your theme park. I know it's called a fair, but I would say it's a theme park. So then you have event cards, green event cards. What I really like on that, they have 2 additional events. So one is an event that usually benefits you, and the other one is an attacking event, so to hinder or get a little bit of a hard competition for your competitors. You have a bunch of park cards, and park cards could be either an attraction, so this is, for an example, an add-on, an upgrade. This is an attraction indicated by the round circle here. Then we have this one is a staff member, and we have resource cards. Resource cards and staff members are really rare. Usually you have tons of these upgrades indicated by this diamond shapes here, and a lot of attractions. On the right bottom you have P for pirates, so you know always what the deck is all about. On top of that you have 3, and that is only 3 of them in the whole game. Game changer cards, if you wanted to change the whole game a little bit, making it peaceful, no aggression, first date, make it easier, grand opening, starting with something. And you have blueprint cards, technically blueprints how you should build your theme park. But when you're building a theme park like this, you get a lot of bonus points. However, if you not fulfill your blueprint, the penalty is 10 minus points. So you have all of that in each single deck. We have vampires, we have jungle, we have robots, and we have pirates in the base game. And as far as I know, they unlocked a couple, at least for the Kickstarter. I don't know what retail will be, but this for sure. You have a starting marker, you have tons of cool cardboard money chips, so 1s, 5, 25s, and 125. A token, probably that will change, to indicate what round we are in. We have also a scoring pad here, and on top of that we have also helper sheets. They are a little bit large and huge, probably they will change it, I don't know. It could be they are pretty large on the table and take a lot of space. They are really helpful and they have a good quality, but they take a lot of space, so you should put it on the side. Let me rearrange the table and give you a quick overview about the flow of the game, and then we're coming back to my personal experiences like always in a nutshell. This is how a table looks like, and especially your player area. I explained the player area in a second. And then you're going through these phases of the game. Therefore, you have this marker here, at least in my thing, and the first one is always draw a card. However, you're having a starting hand of 5 of these cards here, of this park cards, and let me show you something here. When you don't have attractions like this with this round symbol here, you can discard your card, show it to your friends, and that you can prove you don't have an attraction, and you can start with a different one. However, in the first round you always draw one event card. Then the city event will happen. Again, the blue ones, this one here, it's a global effect for everybody. Put it on here, leave it there for the whole round. It has a global effect. The first 4 rounds, the game will play over 8 rounds. The first 4 rounds, you have a positive effect, and then you're closing the market for blueprints. I come to you in a second what a blueprint is. And after that, you have these unfair events, and all of these unfair events are negative. All of them, therefore they are red, having a bad effect on your theme park. Then playing event cards from your hand, and you can have technically an infinite number of event cards. However, through the game your hand size limit is 5, and in the cleanup phase you discard down to 5. Withdrawing this card, it's 6, so it's technically a max of 6 event cards, but it's also your hand size limit determined by this park card, so it's usually a mix of event and park cards. Anyway, during this event play phase, now starting with the starting player, each player can play one event at a time. Keep in mind the top part of the card is always positive for you. The bottom is usually bad for your opponents. So, but also you can pass. When all people passes the whole group in a row, the game is over, the round is over. But you can pass, and when some of your opponents playing an event after, you are not out when you pass once, just to let you know. So you can gamble and play a little bit, and I'm waiting for my attack until the others playing their defense cards first. When this is over, we are going into the park phase. And on your in the park phase, you have technically, as you mentioned, 1, 2, 3 park step actions. What you can do on a park step is, first of all, building a card. You can either build a card from your hand or from here. Let's assume I want you to build that card here. Costs for building the card is here, 11. So in this case, I would simply build this one and pay 11 to the bank. I could also build this one from my hand here, for an example, for 6. Just to let us imagine I built this from my hand and pay $6. That is already one action. Building from the market or building from my hand. During the game and during the setup, you get 2 of these showcase cards. That is a super stunning event, that's a super attraction, and that is super expensive, usually like this one, $20 here. The other one costs also 20 and gives you 3 stars. I explain what stars are in a second, and they have ongoing special cool abilities that are really, really good and great, helping you out throughout the whole game. And mentioned in the rulebook, it's don't use that at the beginning of the game. I would say, okay, that costs you probably all your money, but they are so good. The ongoing things are so good. Probably you should consider to play that. Anyway, another action instead of building is just drawing cards. I mentioned you can, from the market here, this is called the 6 cards a market. You can build it immediately, or you can take a card up into your hand for build that later on. That is an action. You could also take 2 cards and pick one, discard the other one, and then put it in your hand. Same with event cards and blueprints. Just to let you know, as I mentioned before, blueprints are things you have to complete. Otherwise, if you not complete that, you get a penalty of 10 points. And you don't want it to have a penalty of 10 points. If you draw bad blueprints, and also for events and park card, but I have never seen that one in my playtests. For blueprints, you are allowed to discard both. Once you have that in your hand, it's really hard to get rid of these blueprints. There are a couple of ways, but it's really hard to get rid of them. So if you cannot fulfill that blueprint, get it right away. So draw 2, 2, 2 from here and bring that to your hand. Or discard one card from your hand, draw 5 and keep 1. That's the three options for drawing. So option 1 is building, option 2 is drawing, even if there are different ways to draw. Another one is for each single attraction. And just to let me show you this, you are limited to a total of 5 attractions. However, for each attraction you have, you can simply take $1, so up to $5 income. Or you can demolish a card, but I've never, really rarely seen demolishing cards, so I skipped that one. Let's take a look at what you can have in this park cards for cards. So first of all, there are upgrades. So this is, for an example, a jungle upgrade. Let's assume I have this card here. This is my main attraction. I can build an upgrade. You can see it here or on the diamond shape just by paying the $12 and slip it under. I always have to pay $12, but that's okay. Some of these cards have special events like this one. After you build this upgrade, you may draw a park card. So immediately after, I can draw a card. What else could be in here? Here, that is a resource. A resource gives you a +3 capacity. Let's talk about capacity at this point. Resources, by the way, and staff members going to the left of your main gate, attractions to the right. Usually you have a maximum of stars, a capacity of 15. So total up all your stars is your income later on, but max it out by 15. With this, up to 18. What else can you find? You can also have staff members. Staff members cost you money. Usually they don't give stars. Sometimes they give you victory points and special abilities. Also put it to the left of your main gate. And here are more upgrades. But take a look at this. This black line means only on thrill rides. What a surprise, I have already a thrill ride, so I can add this one to my thrill ride here. Quality upgrades, great. You can have as many upgrades as you want for quality. Put it under here. Another pirates theme. Okay, why not building a pirate theme to one of my, another upgrade, wait a second, I will find here, to one of my attractions, and so on. Here is another coaster, another thing you can build, and here's a cinema. You can build in an infinite number of upgrades to each single attraction when you can afford it. However, you can never have a duplicate. So if there's air condition, for an example, like this one here, you cannot build twice an air condition to the single attraction. You can build an air condition to the cinema, and you can build an air condition to the freak show, but never twice. And always look for this one here, not on rides, so you can also not air conditioning a ride. Some of these has white text blocks in here, and that means just simply take the special action from there. You have exactly 3 actions, so a max of 3 buildings. Sometimes you get a 4th action from an ongoing event, and after each player takes 1 action at a time, goes around the table 3 or a max 4 times, the action phase is over and we are going into the guest phase. Guest phase is easy. You count your stars. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stars in my park. My capacity is 15 plus 3, so I have 18, but I have only 13 stars. My income is simply $13. Keep in mind, almost each single round you have either special income from these events or from the city events, so always there's more or less income. At any time in the game you can take loans. For each $5 you take, you get -10 victory points at the end of the game. Just indicate like this, oh, I have a loan of 10, now I have a loan of 20 points. It's always $5. You can do that at any time in your on your turn. It's not an action. And then we are going into cleanup, and cleanup simply means if during the game one of your attractions is blocked, it's like this, indicated by flip over the card, then it will be reopened. The market will be refilled with 6 new cards. If you have events in it that has a pin symbol, they are getting out of the round, so they will be discarded. Check your hand size limit. You see I have too much cards, so I have to get rid of cards. Obviously I can pick, but in this case I would discard this and that card, so down to 5. Keep in mind, showcases and blueprints does not count for your hand size limit. And then simply give the starting player to the next player. You play the game 8 rounds. And let me explain you, and now we are coming slowly into my personal experiences, and then I'm finishing off with points. Let's start a little bit with my personal experiences. In the first 2-3 rounds, it feels like strongly like Roller Coaster Tycoon. You get a little bit of financial background here, 2 for 1 deal, so you can build 2 for the price of 1. So the city is really supporting you by building up your theme park. The city wants to entertain their population. They wanted to have the citizens happy, so they invested a little bit with financial supports and things like that. Your theme park. You build up your theme park, you build a cool, really attraction. It gets more and more of these add-ons. So add-ons to having that on one attraction is usually good for scoring at the end. However, it is a little bit dangerous when people shutting that down. You don't get income from all these stars here. So, but again, usually it's good to have multiple of these upgrades. Almost every upgrade on one single attraction. That's usually good. So you build up that. And then in the middle of the game, it changes a little bit. You see these eyes, the other player watching at your park and thinking, hey, what is your main attraction? Oh, you have an income of 15 only out of this one attraction, or even 20? Hey, can we sabotage that a little bit? Can we do something about that? And people try to hoard these negative effects. So, and they are having more and more event cards on your hand. In the start, you have usually 5 park cards on your hand, but later on, you probably have it like this: 4 event cards and 1 park card, and you think, wow, what's going on here? Am I really in the lead? Am I really the winner of this game? Probably still, but not longer anymore, when they are hitting me with this unfair event cards. So, and in the second turn of the game, when the city don't want to support you anymore, when it's bad weather or things like that, or spiraling costs, so everything costs double, almost everything, attractions and upgrades. So when these things come up into play, you feel, oh, the game is taking a little bit more sharp elbows, and you see your opponents bring out the tiger claw. So then it totally changes from a, oh, I built my own theme park thing, to a real interactive take that game and a nasty bitch fight. And honestly, that's exactly what I like on this game. So the feel of building your own theme park is cool, and building a cool coaster with a jungle theme and a pirate theme, and it has superior quality, and it has air conditioning and comfortable seatings and all of that sounds cool, but there must be a little bit more. And yes, roughly after 50% of the game, there is more coming into the game, and then you start fighting against who your opponents and who has the best theme park. And now you hear exactly also the downside of this game. Why? I mean, obviously, if you are not a fan of Take That and player interaction, and people can really stick the knife into your back, you probably don't like Unfair, because it is unfair. This game is not fair. This game is backstabbing. This game is really a nasty bitch fight around the table. There's not a lot of negotiation in the game, so you can play it like this, but I've never seen it, to be honest. But it's really take that, oh, you're in the lead, or probably in the lead, or you had a really good round last turn. Oh, why not taking this event, taking that event, and things like that. And that really can screw you up. If you take one of these blueprints here, which is insane, for an example, so then you need, Park has at least 25 stars at the end of the game. So let's assume you have 24 stars in round 7 and you plan to build one more star because you have only one more star on your hand here on this card. Hopefully it's a 1 star. Yeah, great. So, and you plan to build that one, but then during the event phase, someone is just stealing you this upgrades here and another one this. So now you're down to 22 and you have only 1 point on your hand, and you know exactly if I cannot build this blueprint, instead of getting 35 positive points, I get -10 as a penalty. So that's a huge swing. That is a huge swing of points, and you're ending up roughly with 200 points the winner, so probably between 170 and 230-ish. So that's the range we ended up always. So then it's getting really serious, really nasty, and really interesting, to be honest. I really like it. I enjoyed it a lot. However, I have to say it was always with a good group. They can handle things like that. It's not for everybody. Please keep that in mind. Unfair is definitely not for everybody. Definitely not for sour losers. And one major complaint I have with unfair is definitely playing time. It says 25 minutes per player, but in my opinion, that is a lie. Even if we played it 3 times with the same group, so we had in brackets experienced players, but it's always the question, oh, what is this card saying? What is this? Because you cannot even remember 120 cards or 200 cards on the table. You have to say, oh, he's doing that, he's doing that. When it comes to stealing an employee, when it comes to destroying or shutting down one of these, you are always rereading and rereading the effects of the cards. You are double checking, is this triggering with that card, and is this card helping and supporting this card, and then you immediately exceed the estimated 25 minutes per player. We played that game with 4 players, never in under 220. And the max, including rules, so rules are pretty simple to explain, including rules, was 3.5 hours. However, I think it's worse if you really like theme park games and roller coaster tycoon games with a take that, then it's a really unfair and nasty game. If you're a sour loser, or if you only have friends they like to play as a team, don't buy unfair. That's not the game you want, because this game is unfair. Yeah, that was my personal experience with Unfair, the game from Good Games Publishing, an Australian publisher, by the way. And yeah, that was in a nutshell. My name is Nils, and see you next time. Bye. Bye. And then let's go for a ride.